I'm awake. Hello, everybody. Animux. Oh, wow, that's loud for some reason. I don't know. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. I'm loud in my own ears.
Is your own voice is screaming into your ears?
Yes, it's very distracting. I was going to be loud again, but that would that's the problem. So, uh, oh god, this was another one of those weebiness names where they always put it in full Japanese, even though it probably has an English title. Ryugajo Nanana no Maizukin. Maizuki.
Nanana's buried treasure.
Yeah. I fucking hate weebs, man. We do an anime review show, but I fucking hate weebs. I hate them so much. Ugh.
How do you define that?
People who go to obsessive lengths to keep things as Japanese as possible, even though they are translatable, and you don't need to write things in Japanese to prove that you can write and read things in Japanese because no one else cares. They just want to know what the show is called. So yeah, Nanana's buried treasure. Fuck Japanese titles. Like Japanese titles for Japanese people. We're English. Well, I'm English. Well, I'm Welsh, but semantics. But we speak English. So, yeah, this show is. I was gonna say it's about adventure, but the first episode doesn't really like the cold open, like the first 30 seconds, give that impression, but nothing else of the episode does. So, this show starts with Indiana Jones kind of thing going on, with a bunch of school kids going through what looks like a temple that has, like I say, Indiana Jones style traps of like spears that shoot out of the ground when you walk over them and stuff. And then they get to the central chamber, and the purple haired girl is like, wow, and then opening credits. Okay. That
Yep.
that's a nice intro, and it was well animated, and you know, it does what a cold open is supposed to do and grab your attention, so no complaints. And then we completely switch tracks to there is an island that is just for schools. Like, it is an artificial island that students go to. There are about 30 schools on it, so about the equivalent schools of one American city. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, right. Um, it was built specifically for those schools to be there, and it's just a place for students to learn and for presumably academia and research to happen. It's a weird concept because we have cities like that are mostly like that now. Funny thing, if you have an island that's just for schools, you still need all the other infrastructure and stuff for everything else. So it's a weird distinction to make, but we're basically in a fantasy land, so fuck it. Like, not a fantasy land, but a world that kind of bends itself around the plot. Let's call it. So there is a dude that's going to this school, and he's like, yeah, and the music swells, and it sounds like he's going to the Pokemon League, which was a little odd, but, okay. Uh, and he is excited to go to this island because it means he gets out of the house that he, like, lived with his parents in. I don't really know why this was a big deal for him, but he calls his dad a jackass, so I assume
Yeah.
that's all we're gonna get.
Home problems, but this school has like state of the art facilities, and it's all students, and he says at one point, it's my opportunity to get out of that house. Like he has a bad home life. is implied. He just doesn't like his home.
Also, he later says that he was kicked out. So it's a little bit of a mixed message, I guess. But like I say, it's probably not important for the sake of the plot. The plot, instead, is based around where he's going to live. He goes to a student dorm that is about 6 rooms, but, whatever. And the lady who runs it is a drunkard and dresses in casual, let's call it summer clothing. Like, the show treats it like she's in bra and panties or something, but she's not. It's just like very light clothing. So she drinks a lot and doesn't really give a shit about him. Asks for his first year's rent because that is the policy of, I don't know whether just her building or the island in general, but first year's rent you have to pay up front. So he does, and she shows him to his room, and there's already a person in it. A girl playing video games while eating pudding. So he's like,
sorry, wrong room.
Yeah. He's like, yes, someone else is living in there already. And she's like, oh, no one's living there.
There's no human occupants.
Yeah. Yeah. So this girl is a ghost.
She was stabbed like 10 years ago. Doesn't know who stabbed her.
And she's bound to this room. So good luck with that. I already have your year's rent, so move out when you feel like it. Bye.
I would move out, but I don't have any money.
Yeah. So, conversation ensues with the ghost, who it turns out is in fact a ghost. I was kind of expecting a fake out of like, no, you're not really a ghost. It's just wacky hijinks. But no, she's a ghost. And the ghost declares that they need to have a battle to determine who gets to be the master of the room. And he's like, what? Or we could have like a lovey-dovey cohabitation thing going. No, we're gonna battle for the room.
But if you win, I can pretend to be your girlfriend. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Immediately lunges at her, and she phases through him because she's a ghost. And immediately we see why this is probably not a fair contest.
Because she could choose to turn physical and hit him.
So she gets him in an armbar, and he's like, oh, shit. Well, damn. But wait. My hand is right there in, what was it, God's territory or something?
Yes.
God's domain.
God's territory. Right next to the boob. But I can't feel it with the back of my hand.
Yeah, the back of my hand isn't good enough. But if I wait until she dislocates my shoulder, I will be able to touch it with a finger. It's
one
worth
arm,
it.
One arm for one touch of a boob. Let's do this.
She is admittedly impressed by his resolve, though doesn't know his internal thoughts. So but yeah, yeah.
He gets his arm dislocated anyway.
Yeah. So next day at school, he's introducing himself, and the class rep or whatever is showing him around, and he's like, oh yes, glasses and dark hair and class rep and everything, she's exactly my type. So she shows him around, and they talk about the architecture of the island a little bit, and he says something nice, and she writes it down, saying she writes down sentences she thinks are beautiful because she wants to be a novelist. Fair enough. It's more research than I do, to be honest. But So then there's a thing where I would probably call this show a light horror thing. Like, it's probably not going to go anywhere close to that direction, but all of the girls still have kind of he's, so yeah. There is an exchange where she quietly says that she's attractive and that is intimidating for her, and he asks, "What was that?" And she's like, because you're fucking scary," or something. "You look like a delinquent," or something. It's like, oh. Then we get some domestic stuff of, like, he has to keep buying the ghost pudding because that's all she eats, even though she's a ghost, so she doesn't need to eat. But, she keeps demanding pudding, so he has to keep getting it for her and has to eat ramen because he's buying food for two people, so he has to go cheap.
Also just has no money. So his thin budget is incredibly thin. Like, thinner than it should be.
Yeah. So he ends up on the toilet looking at his phone for some reason. He's very surprised to see his password for something still works, but I wasn't quite sure what that was supposed to be.
I think it's set up for some backstory stuff and reasons why he may have left.
Yeah.
Or gotten kicked out.
But yeah, he is in the restroom for a long time, to the point the ghost complains.
2 hours.
Yeah, just fair enough. Then a compartment to his left pops open at exactly 8 p.m. and inside is a book that is the manual for Nanana, who is the ghost. It's the name of the ghost. And it goes through details of all of the things she likes and stuff, and makes vague mentions of Nanana's collection. Then we get some backstory stuff on where she came from and how the island came to be, and basically she was one of the people that made the island possible by going out to adventure and finding secret treasures and
she
stuff.
got really, really rich, used that to travel around the world, go on other adventures, get even richer, find all sorts of rare artifacts. The red-haired woman who's the dorm manager, was one of her friends who joined her on these adventures, and she was the red-haired girl in the cold opening. And basically, everybody on this island loves Nanana because of what she's done for them and how she has revolutionized everything here. And when she was killed, it was tragic. Everyone in her frenzy tried to find her killer. Nobody could possibly find the killer, though, and it was very, very sad. And she's just like, and you're still renting out that room? It's like, well, yeah, gotta get some money.
But also, so Nanana won't be lonely.
Yeah. Also, she gets lonely easily.
And this is a moment where you kind of, once again, see the world bends around the plot. Like, the protagonist knows the island well enough to know who the architect was for it, but he doesn't know who made the island possible in the first place and doesn't recognize Nanana's name at all.
It's called Nanana Island. It's kind of named after her.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's, like I say, it bends around the plot. He needs to not know her, so he doesn't. But yeah, she talks. The redhead talks about how some of the treasures have been found, and some of them have strange abilities. But still, a lot of them are all scattered all over, waiting for someone to find them. And then we get crime. Crime is happening. A woman is standing on top of a building and opens a parachute to catch the wind that just sort of drags her off. And there's a dude that's like there. And then we have like a police cordon outside of a building, and there's two girls there, and one of them decides to break the police cordon and go in. And on getting questioned about this, she says, "Don't worry, I'm a master detective," and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Oh, was there a post credits?
Yes. It shows the protagonist walking back home from the store with a bag full of groceries and a black box with a blinking red light on it being lowered directly into his path by a parachute.
Probably what those thieves stole.
Yep.
Probably their intention of getting into contact with him.
It could be
Like,
anything. Yeah. So, this was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I say, the plot, is very convenient, but they have 11 episodes, so screw it. That's fine. It's not a scenario where you can spend a lot of time on very careful world building. So fuck it. Yeah, adventure stuff. Setup. Let's go. Ghost. Murderer.
Yeah, I like the animation. I think it flows very well. The music was for the opening and the ending. I like that. The dialogue is pretty funny. There's nothing here really that I dislike. I'd be perfectly fine to sit down and keep watching this.
Same.
and I make 3. Well, aside from the drunk woman's blatant,
The camera likes to zoom in.
Yeah. It's very clearly a camera thing and not a her thing. But yeah.
Well, it's clearest with her.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's that the character herself isn't really anything to, like, she's not making come-ons or anything. It's just the camera's zooming in places. It's like, all right,
Okay,
it's a little, it is admittedly a little juvenile, which is something coming from me, but still.
Aside from that, though, just hey, there's a mystery. She has this treasure somewhere hidden on this island, Nanana, and finding out where that treasure is probably going to be a big plot point. This is a light novel based anime, which means it has several arcs. I think there's 12 volumes of the light novel that I saw when I looked it up. So a lot of story here to be told.
It's pretty good so far. Like, saying it's a light novel is genuinely surprising because it's Sturgeon's Law kind of medium, really. But it seems to be firing on all cylinders for storytelling. So I have nothing to complain about. I think it's really solid. It's a very nice change of pace from what we had last week, where none of us could finish it.
Well, we'll see if we finish this one. It's got a promising start, but we'll see how it goes from here, perhaps.
It couldn't have been a more perfect back-to-back thing of what we had last week and this week, where it is also Phantom Thieves and Master Detectives.
Well, speaking of nothing related to this, I rolled a 23.
23, that's W?
X? I think that might be X because we have a missing one. Normally it would be W if it was just alphabet.
No, Q is back on the list.
Oh, is it? So yeah, W then.
Okay. 31. Hang on, there are a few enough entries here that I can just count out the ones we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 31 minus 9, so go for 22.
22?
Yes.
In that case, I got 16.
16. Alright. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Number 16 is Wizard Baristers, Denmachi Cecil.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Interesting.
Wizard barristers. So wizard lawyers, presumably. No, is that spelled right for barristers as well? I don't actually. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Ow. Sorry. Bumped the mic.
Looking at this summary, it seems really familiar at first glance. Didn't we see this before?
This is not a familiar name, I can say that much. Masane Amaha and her daughter Rihoko are on the run from a government child welfare agency that wants to take Rihoko away from her mother. They are caught, and it sounds like Witchblade, that's why you're thinking. They are caught, and Rihoko is taken away. Meanwhile, Masane is attacked by an advanced weapon that can disguise itself as a human being. When faced with the danger, a strange light emits from her wrist and she transforms into a powerful being. She destroys the weapon and consequently becomes involved in a power struggle between powerful organizations with her at the center of their attention. But, wait. This is the wrong summary. Fuck.
Yes. Dang it. I knew that sounded familiar.
Yeah, that is literally the summary for Witchblade to the point it says Witchblade at the end of it. Zero, can you help us out?
This story takes place in Tokyo in 2018, where normal humans and those who can use magic coexist. As a result, there are laws against using magic, and a magic courtroom exists to preside over lawsuits regarding magic use. In these cases, benmashi, or wizard barristers, defend those who use magic. The anime follows Cecil, the youngest benmashi in history, and her associates as they defend clients in these cases.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so Phoenix Wright with wizards!
It's Phoenix Wright with wizards. The series is an unofficial spiritual spin-off of Ace Attorney, having been heavily inspired by this franchise, and there were intentions of making the series canonically related to the Ace Attorney universe.
Are you excited, Casey?
A little bit. Oh my god.
Alright, well, we'll see that then. Well,
it is
another one from W.
Wizard Ace Attorney. All right.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Okay. All right, so that's what we're doing next week.
All right,
Okay, bye everybody.